Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Saturday the 12th of February 2022. In today's Millwall news, today was a match day and it was a good match day because we won 2-1 against Cardiff City. This is the match report from newsden.co.uk. And it says Steve Morrison's return to the Den ended in defeat as goals from Murray Wallace. Mason Bennett gave Millwall their second win in 3 home games. The visitors did pull a goal back in injury time through Joel Bagan to make it a nervy ending, but the Lions held on for just their second win of 2022. Cardiff nearly took the lead in the 8th minute after a scramble in the box from a free kick, but the ball was eventually smothered by line stopper Bartosz Białkowski. The pole was called into action midway through the half, paring away Joe Rawls' effort. Mill finally mustered a shot in the 33rd minute. Oliver Burke was played through by Wallace, but Alex Smithy saved his effort before Jed Wallace curled the rebound over the bar. The visitors started the second half the better side. Tommy Dole's shot towards goal looked to have been blocked by the hand of Jake Cooper, but the referee awarded a corner instead. Jordan Ugle then forced a save from Białkowski. Isaac Davies was the next to test Białkowski from range before Ugle put the rebound wide. The former West Ham man then missed a golden chance. He evaded the Millwall defence from a corner but headed over. Wallace fired wide for Millwall as they looked to regain some control in the game as the hour mark passed. George Saville and Bennett were introduced to give the Lions more of an attacking threat. The breakthrough finally came in the 72nd minute from a corner routine that Millwall had already attempted a few times previously. Sean Hutchinson flicking on for Wallace to head past Smithies. I think did Hutchinson get it? I thought he missed it and Mason Bennett got it instead. I'm pretty sure Hutchinson went in for it, but the defender dragged him and he didn't get on it properly. And I swear it was Mason Bennett that flicked it on, or it just hit him and then went through, bubbled through. I'll have to check that again. The game was secured in the 83rd minute with both substitutes combining as Saville lifted the ball to the back post and Bennett headed past Smithies. Yes, 2 headed goals for Millwall today. Morrison's side did give the home faithful something to fret about as Bacon tapped in for his first senior goal, but Millwall held on. The takeaways: unhappy return for Steve Morrison. The Cardiff boss is one of Millwall's most successful ever players. He scored 92 goals over his 3 spells and 7 years in SC16, and he was given a warm welcome back to his former surroundings. It was the first time he had returned since he left the club in the summer of 2019. However, he would not have enjoyed seeing his side concede a very soft set-piece goal. Wallace was left all on his own with plenty of time and space to pick where he wanted to head the ball. Morrison would have been even more annoyed with the second as his side's defensive resolve disappeared. Morrison will also reflect that his side had chances to go in front. In the end, it was the Millwall fans ironically chanting, "He's one of our own," as Morrison headed down the tunnel after the full-time whistle. Concern as Afobe pulls up. Towards the end of the game, Benik Afobe was forced off with what looked like a hamstring injury. On a day when the Lions could celebrate just the second win of the year, they were concerned as their only recognised striker went off. There will be lots of concern amongst the Lions management staff as Afobe looked in a lot of pain as he was replaced, but he at least was able to walk off, and hopefully that is a positive sign. I doubt it. If he's done his hamstring, he's going to be out for at least a month or 2. That is an absolute nightmare, and as we discussed earlier in the week, after the transfer window closed, we have only 1 centre forward at the club. Now, they did try to sign more. They tried to sign the players that went to Cardiff, Jordan Ugle and Uche Pizu from Middlesbrough, but they didn't manage to land any of them, and they didn't recall Isaac Olofi from his loan, and they've been playing Zach Lovelace, a 15-year-old who's been mostly playing for the under-18s. So there you go. Time for a change in midfield. Mill have a good defence, which is something we have known for a long time. Yeah, they were very busy today. Very, very busy. A very good defensive. Got a bit of luck, but for the most part is solid and does not give many chances away, but it is the midfield that is a real problem. There is a distinct lack of movement in the midfield too, which leaves Afobe very isolated. Up front, Billy Mitchell has been excellent for the majority of the season, and it's been wonderful seeing a young member of the academy come through and play for the side on a regular basis, but neither Mitchell nor Mikkel Keftenbeld really offered a goal threat, whereas Saville came on and set up the second. We will need more goals from that area, more of an attacking purpose. Saville is surely pushing hard to start against QPR on Tuesday. That lack of attacking spark is one of the reasons Millwall have fallen away from the playoff challenge. At least Jed Wallace returned to the side, and as Rout has mentioned, he now has much more attacking bench. Bennett and Saville showed exactly how crucial that is. Team news: Rout made 2 changes to the side that lost at Fulham. Jed Wallace and Scott Malone returned, with Alex Pearson and Bennett dropping to the bench, and the team was Biakowski, McNamara, Hutchison, Cooper, Murray Wallace, Malone, Billy Mitchell, Kifton-Beld, Burke, Afobe and Jed Wallace. Saville came on for Mitchell, 68 minute, as did Bennett coming on for Burke, and Evans come on for Afobe in the 80th minute. So our only centre forward got taken off on the 80th minute, and we tried to see out the game, and luckily we only conceded the 1 goal. The subs were the unused subs were Long, Pearce, Mahoney and Tyler Burry. So there you go. That is the match report from newsend.co.uk. So let's move on to the manager's comments from post-match interviews that they gave. We had clear control. Millwall boss Gary Rout on 2-1 win over Cardiff City. This is from London News Online. .co.uk. Millwall manager Gary Rout felt his side were rewarded for an improved second half display as they beat Cardiff City 2-1 at the Den, with Murray Wallace putting them on their way to the 3 points. So Scott headed the home side in front of 73 minutes as he met Scott Malone's corner with an emphatic header. Mason Bennett finished from close range after being picked out of the back post by fellow substitute George Saville. Not really. Saville crossed it in, but it got deflected and bobbled up. That's why if you see the goal, like Mason Bennett did some kind of like weird half jump. Cardiff cut the arrears in stoppage time, Joel Bacon scoring from a matter of yards out, but it was not enough to prevent the Welsh side's unbeaten 3-game run in the Championship, all victories from ending. It was only Millwall's 2nd victory in 2022. Damn. Rout said Cardiff had a clear game plan, and it was to drop in, block the game up and make it really difficult for us to find space, maybe try and pinch a set piece or a counter attack. First half they made it difficult. It's up to us to find a solution. We played side to side a little bit too much. Sometimes you need someone to step in and create those movements, have that creativity and play forward a little bit more. Everyone got a little bit nervy and frustrated, but I said to the players at half time, we've got to be patient and work a little bit harder to create those movements. Our 2 strikers played too wide first half. They needed to play closer together to link up more. Second half we were really good. We started really brightly and looked like we had a bit more zip and creativity to our play. Cardiff probably had a 5-minute spell where they started to get a little bit of joy that maybe made them come out and feel like they could attack a bit more. It helped us as it opened up the spaces. We scored 2 good goals, and apart from the last minute and a half, we were fairly comfortable in the game. It was whether we could break them down. We've had 65% of possession. I don't know how many times we've had that, but certainly not many. We've had clear control. It was whether we could find the goal to open Cardiff up a little bit. Cardiff boss Steve Morrison claimed they were denied a stonewall penalty kick when the match was tied. And Rowett said, I haven't seen it back, but at the time I couldn't tell. There was one early on the Cardiff player where it was hit his arm by his side. Coops was potentially a little bit further away from his body, but I don't know. I'm sure they meant feel a little bit aggrieved. Cardiff actually had more shots than us in that game. I think their XG was high as well, and they certainly didn't sit back and try and defend. So I don't know what Garrett's talking about there. Moving on now to this. So what happened to the free man? Where did the free man go? He wasn't in the squad. 2 o'clock, seeing the squad announcement. No Luke Freeman. So what's happening here? Well, obviously for a player that's just signed and just made his debut, he's got injured, which is what happens all the time. Millwall boss explains Sheffield United's loanee's absence and admits to fresh injury setbacks. Luke Freeman missed Mill's 2-1 win over Cardiff City due to a hamstring problem. The Sheffield United attacking midfielder who recently joined the Lions on loan made his debut in Tuesday's 3-0 derby reverse at Fulham, but Freeman was absent for today's championship fixture at the Den. Benicophobe also had to be subbed off in the closing stages against Cardiff. Freeman has felt his hamstring, said Rowett. He's trained really well, played against Fulham, and been really bright for a week. I was really excited to see him play, so that's disappointing. We've had that scan today. We haven't had the results back yet. Bennett looked like he felt his hamstring late on in the game. That's why he came off. Oliver Burke had about 2 or 3 knocks. That's why he came off. The frustration for us is that you put Jed back in a little bit fitter and you see the impact, certainly second half, as the game goes on, that he has. We can't afford to lose the attacking players that we've got. Every time we get a result, we seem to have to count the cost off the back of it. We certainly don't seem to have had much fortune this season with injuries to key attacking players. Indeed. So there you go. Luke Freeman signed. Didn't start. He come off the bench and he's injured. Fantastic. So let's move on now to this. More comments from Garrett. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. 2 Millwall players come in for special praise after 2-1 win over Cardiff City. Murray Wallace and Michael Keftenbeld were described as fabulous by Millwall manager Garrett after today's 2-1 win over Cardiff City. Scottish defender Wallace headed the Lions ahead in the second half of the Den. He's been fabulous all season, said Rowett. He's been as consistent as any of our performers off the ball in the way he's defended, and on the ball he's shown real composure in a lot of games. Yes, I would agree with that. Murray Wallace is fantastic. I think that's 5 goals for him, which is really good return. We need more people to chip in tight games like this. Sometimes that makes a difference. You score from a set piece and it opens the game up. Kieftenbeld played the full 90 minutes in central midfield and started their last 5 matches. The Dutchman is due to be out of contract this summer. Rowett said Michael Keftenbeld was fabulous as well. In the last 2 or 3 games he's come back in and been superb. He certainly injected that little bit of drive and desire in moments of the game, which has helped us today. He's a player that I massively trust. He knows where to play at the right times in games. He senses danger really well and complements some of the other midfield players we have got. So there you go. Praise from Gary Rowett for 2 of the players. Murray Wallace, yeah, he has been fabulous all season. He's missed a few games with an ankle injury. I'm just thinking, is he in with a shout for player of the season? Now you would think Bartosz Białkowski would be prime contender because he literally is a match winner. Not just him, but the defence, but he plays a big part in that. He's already run it two seasons in a row now, so could it be 3 in a row for Bart? I don't know. I think maybe people haven't really turned on him, but I think people might be like, well, what, 3 years in a row? Isn't it time for someone else? I don't know. Maybe they might. Maybe someone, whenever the vote gets taken, someone in that week does something and then it just flips it. I don't know. Jed Wallace has missed most of December and January, or half of December and January. I don't know. Tom Bradshaw's out injured now. Danny Ballard was out injured. He's coming back. Maybe Ballard come back, plays well. He might be in with a shout. I don't know. What do you think? Who's in it for the player of the season so far? Murray Wallace has got to be up there, hasn't he? Him and Bart. Yeah. Because player of the season, you've got to pick someone who's played in most of the games. Played very well in most of the games. Or someone who scores a lot. We don't really have someone who scores a lot, so you're looking at someone who's playing well in all the games. So it's either Bart, Murray Wallace. Yeah, either of them. I don't know. So what did Steve Morrison have to say? Because before the game, all the build-up was about Steve Morrison coming back. What's that going to be like? Blah, blah, blah. So this is from news@den.co.uk. Cardiff City boss Steve Morrison's deadpan response when asked about reception at Millwall. Steve Morrison was asked about the reception he received at the Den on Saturday. Millwall defeated Morrison's Cardiff 2-1. The former Lions skipper first returned to SE16 since he left as a player in 2019. The home support inevitably chanted, asking Morrison what the score was late on. Yeah, that was fantastic. Morrison was asked if it was the reception he expected. No, they were too nice to me, Morrison deadpanned. Morrison felt goalscorer Murray Wallace should have been sent off. Morrison said he slides in on Jordan, and because we won't go down and get the foul, it's alright. That's just me nitpicking. He made foul after foul after foul, and then he goes on and scores the goal. He's been excellent for them all season, indeed. Player of the season. It is what it is. I'm just pissed off that I'm leaving the ground with a loss. So there you go. He's taking it well, isn't he? Yeah. And you can see on the right hand side there's a bit of the table as it stands now. Let's have a look at the table now. Yeah. So Tuesday we play QPR at home now. They're in fourth in the table. And we are 15th. We've got 40 points, so we're only 10 points away from the safety mark. I don't think you're gonna need 50 points this season, because you look at the bottom and there's literally 4 teams realistically looking for 3 places: Reading, Peterborough, Derby, and Barnsley. So 3 of them will be going down, I think. In Cardiff and Hull, I think they should be fine. There's a massive gap between Reading and Cardiff, 10-point gap there. Reading just keep losing and losing and losing. Peterborough as well, and that means there's a gap now between us and the relegation places of 20 points. So we're gonna need a 20-point swing now. Never say never, but I think we're sorted now. I think realistically we're not going to have much of a chance of getting into the playoffs. It's still possible. I mean, we're only 9 points off, but realistically, I mean, I don't think we don't deserve to be in it. We're the lowest scorers in the top 17 teams, the lowest scoring team. You can't be getting in the playoffs if you with the amount of goals we've scored and the style of play that we play. It's just not going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen. Yeah, but so where did we finish last season? 11th. Now Garrett was clearly targeting the top 6, so I imagine he'll want to get into the top 10 at least, because that would be progress from last season. But yeah, it's just, it doesn't really matter. Does it? Mid-table, we could finish anywhere from 8th to 19th, to be honest with you. But there's the table as it stands today after beating Cardiff 2-1 at the Den. Thank you for watching and goodbye.